The one thing, good morning by the way, the one thing that, because it, because it's difficult to hear this, the one thing that quantity surveyors, cost consultants, QS, subcontractors, clients, architects, engineers, we're all blind to, even though technically we can go and see it, is the profit margins the builders actually make. And there's this illusion that builders make crazy amount of money and they're very well off. And that can't be the case. It's usually not the case. There is a ridiculously easy access into the market. So in economic terms, they follow a perfect market structure, easy access, little or no regulation, little or no fixed prices, far from the model of perfect marketing where there's total transparency. So, but irrespective of how much transparency there is, very few people, even within the industry, fully understand builders' profit margins. And I work with one builder who is super analytical about his margins and his rates. The guy is forensic in his details about his projects, analytical, uses QuickBooks, is an expert in QuickBooks, matches invoices, balances, reconciliations, everything's aligned to projects, so you can break down labour costs, material costs, overhead costs. And speaking to him, he reckons that he's on about 6%, 6.25%, and that's because he's super analytical. And he's got data to drive his decisions, real data. Speaking to really, well, both of these guys would be top tier small builders. So speaking to another guy over the phone and in person the last couple of days, and he's on 5%. So, and that's after everything. That is what is left. All costs, all margins, all labour, all materials, all preliminaries, all overhead left. That's effectively his salary, which he can put it into pension and he can save himself, but on the balance of that he will be paying nearly 42% or 50% in taxes, depending on which way things are structured. And so that 5% pretty quickly comes down to 3%. So very quickly, it's a very tight margin. Tight margins can be worked with if there's volume, but you can see very quickly how cash flow then becomes so crucially important. And I've seen guys on sites literally on the verge of tears. I've seen guys on site super angry. I've seen guys on site, and you can nearly see neurologically it's hardwired. You can see we're talking about costs and what is or isn't in, and you can nearly see a shake of a hand, a shake of a leg. You can see anger, you can see frustration. These are guys who are putting everything on the line. And homeowners put everything on the line in different ways. By going out to work, by working just as hard, by taking risks. We're all at it. We're all at it in complex lives. Between relationships, work, balance, family commitments, social commitments, environmental commitments, social lives, economic burdens. We all carry. But to be in an environment where profit margins are so low, and for other people not to realise this, and then cash flow restrictions, it's a tough place to be. This is what people sign up for. There is money to be made by management, by luck, sometimes by proxy. There is the dream scenario where a builder gets 2 or 3 refurbishment jobs. He works on the tools himself. He makes good margins. All of a sudden, he's a small little developer and he buys a plot of land. And that is doable. It is unusual, but it is doable. And if he gets to that stage, then he can escalate upwards while still having cash flow from the construction business. So it is a huge balancing act. But at the core of this, when people aren't paying their bills, when people are fighting over variations, which they should, because they need to understand it. The fight isn't about the amount, the fight is about the understanding of it. And but at the heart of this is a structural line that margins are very, very low, and that impinges and it conditions, and it becomes the harsh reality of negotiations tendering and positive outcomes. Not often spoken about, because if it is spoken about, then it's given life. It's given life. If we give life